Ohio State fans, this news is going to sting for a lot of people who have continued rooting for this player. A former Buckeye quarterback has just made a decision that nobody saw coming, and what makes it even more surprising is that he did it by aligning himself with one of the biggest rivals of the brand that has dominated Columbus for decades. I'm not exaggerating when I say this could completely change the direction of his career. What's even more remarkable is that this story actually began long before today, with an entire season of waiting, frustration, and a player fighting for an opportunity that simply never came. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you involves money, pride, and a decision that perfectly sums up everything that has been happening behind the scenes of the program over the past several months. Before I tell you his name, let me give you some context. This player wore the scarlet and gray, practiced every single day hoping to become the starting quarterback, and season after season watched that opportunity slip further away. Meanwhile, another quarterback within the program continued to develop, gained the coaching staff's trust, and eventually became the unquestioned starter. Not many people understand how mentally exhausting that can be for an athlete. And it was in that exact situation that the biggest decision of his career began to take shape. But what happened next caught almost everyone off guard, especially because of the company he chose to represent. I'm talking about Lincoln Kienholz. If you've been following Ohio State football, you know he was the backup behind Julian Sayin, last season's Heisman Trophy finalist. And with Sayin proving he's the future of the program, the math became simple for Kienholz. Either keep waiting for an opportunity that might never come, or go somewhere he could finally play. He chose the second option. Kienholz entered the transfer portal and committed to Louisville, a Power 4 program where he has a legitimate opportunity to become the starting quarterback. But the part nobody expected came after that. Let me quickly remind you of his journey, because it helps explain why this latest move is so significant. Kienholz arrived at Ohio State with tremendous upside, a powerful arm, and the expectation that he would eventually compete for the starting job. But fate placed one of the nation's most talented quarterbacks directly in front of him. He was given just one real opportunity to prove himself during the 2023 Cotton Bowl, and unfortunately, that performance didn't go the way he had hoped. From that point forward, the competition only became tougher, and with every passing season, it became increasingly clear that his ceiling in Columbus had been reached. That was the moment everything began to change. Once he realized that becoming Ohio State's starting quarterback was growing more unlikely, he made the boldest decision of his football career: leave, start over, and chase an opportunity to become the face of another program. And this is where the story becomes even more interesting. Kienholz has signed a name, image, and likeness deal with Adidas. Yes, you heard that correctly. Adidas, the direct competitor of Nike, the brand that has been synonymous with Ohio State athletics for decades. To put that into perspective, current Buckeye stars like Chris Henry Jr. continue signing nil agreements with Nike, reinforcing the historic relationship between the program and the brand. Now, a former Ohio State quarterback leaves the program, transfers elsewhere, and signs with Nike's biggest competitor. When I first saw the news, I couldn't believe how perfectly everything lined up. Now pay close attention, because this might be the biggest takeaway from the entire story. A six-figure endorsement deal with a global company like Adidas doesn't happen by accident. It's a strong indication that Kienholz is viewed as the favorite to become Louisville's starting quarterback this season. Of course, nothing is officially guaranteed yet. Fall camp will ultimately determine who wins the job. But the nil market is already signaling a great deal of confidence in him. And what's interesting is that this isn't the first time he's had to fight for an opportunity. That's exactly what he did throughout his time at Ohio State, competing against elite quarterbacks every day in practice. Now he'll have to do it once again, except this time, he has a genuine chance to emerge as the starter for a Louisville program that hopes to compete for an ACC championship. That raises a question many Ohio State fans are probably asking themselves. How will Buckeye fans feel about Lincoln Kienholz now? The truth is that many people will continue cheering for him. He never truly had the opportunity to succeed, or fail, as Ohio State's starting quarterback. And with Louisville not scheduled to face the Buckeyes this season, it's easy for many fans to support his fresh start. He has the talent, he has the determination, and now he finally has the opportunity he's been waiting for. The only question left is whether he'll make the most of it. At the end of the day, this story is about much more than an endorsement contract. It highlights how dramatically college football has changed. Today's players have the freedom to choose new opportunities, rebuild their careers, and even become part of commercial rivalries off the field. For Ohio State, nothing really changes. Julian Sayin remains firmly established as the starting quarterback and is expected to build on an outstanding season. But for Lincoln Kienholz, this could be the breakthrough he's been waiting for ever since he first arrived in Columbus. Now I'd like to hear your opinion. Do you think Kienholz deserved more opportunities at Ohio State? Or was transferring to Louisville the right decision to pursue a starting role? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to see what you think about this story.